Yibane, we will build it. Olam Chesed Yibane. We will build this world from love. Yibane, we will build it.
Boker Tov, good morning, and welcome to today's Elul Soul Brew. Curated voices from around the world, bringing you on a journey of inspiration and introspection leading up to the high holidays. I'm Rabbi Bluth, host and producer of the Soul Brews with the Beth Tzedek Center for Spiritual Well-Being. Today we're going to jump to Yerushalayim, to the holy city of Jerusalem, to hear from Rabbi Ami Silver. Reb Ami is a rabbi, a psychotherapist, and a writer based in Jerusalem. His teaching focuses on the interface between Jewish text, spiritual practice, and personal transformation. You can find more of his Torah on his podcast, Awakening, or online at appliedjewishspirituality.org and alepbeta.org. Ami is a real gem of a teacher, bringing sensitivity and text and deep, deep wisdom. Ami, we're so excited for you to join us today. And please, let's begin. Tell us, leading up to the high holidays, what's your soul brewing?
Good morning, everybody. Leading up to this year's high holidays, my soul is brewing belovedness. And not just because it's a beautiful word and a beautiful idea and makes us feel good, but because I believe that it lies at the core of this time of year and these holidays that we're entering into. Before we go on, I'll take a moment to introduce myself. My name's Ami Silver. I'm a rabbi and psychotherapist and a writer living in Jerusalem. Now, this month that we're in, Elul, the Hebrew month of Elul, the commentators traditionally relate that name Elul to the acronym Ani L'Dodi V'Dodi Li, which means I am to my beloved, and my beloved is to me. It's a verse from the Song of Songs describing a kind of mutual relationship where we are both lovers and beloved. And I don't think it's by accident that this is the time of year leading up to Rosh Hashanah. You and I know Rosh Hashanah as the Jewish New Year, as the beginning of the Hebrew calendar. But in the Torah itself, in the Chumash, we don't actually have a holiday called Rosh Hashanah. What we have instead is a holiday on the 1st of Tishrei, the same time of year that we celebrate, which is a day of Truah. The Torah calls it a Yom Truah or a Yom Zichron Truah, a day of remembering Truah or a day of Truah. And when we hear the word Truah, we naturally think of the sound of the shofar blast, right? Tkiya, Shvarim, Truah. It's that last choppy shofar sound, the Truah. So maybe the Torah just means it's a day of blowing a ram's horn. It would be reasonable, right? But here's the thing. Truah doesn't just mean a horn blast. Truah also has something to do with love and affection. And we see this come up in one of the blessings, in fact, accidental blessings or unintentional blessings of the prophet Bilam. Bilam was a Midianite prophet hired to curse the children of Israel, and through a number of divine acts, everything that Bilam said were simply blessings and praise of the children of Israel. And one of the things he says is that God does not look upon any crookedness or perversion in God's nation. Hashem Elokav imo utruat melech bo. Their God is with them, utruat melech bo. The truah of the king is among these people, is within them. The truah of the king does not merely refer to some kind of special trumpet or horn. Truah, the commentators teach us, has to do with the word re'ut or re'ah, a friend, a beloved one. It has to do with affection. As we say, Ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha, to love your re'ah, your friend like yourself. Truat melech bo means there is the love of their king, of their creator within them. Yom Truah, a day of Truah, a day of Zichron Truah, remembering Truah, is a day of connecting ourselves and returning to that essential belovedness that is responsible for bringing us here. Rosh Hashanah is not just a time when the calendar returns to its beginning point. It's a time where the world and ourselves and our own life processes take a day, really 2 days, to return to our point of origin. And the Torah tells us that when we do that, the place that we are returning to, the place from which we come, is one of a deep love, a deep and essential, defining love. Whether the language or concept of God as loving creator speaks to you, whether we just conceive of the wild reality that from stardust, billions of light years in the deep, deep, distant past, through all turnings of time and forms of life, and even through the particulars of our own family history, the generations upon generations upon generations, I'm here, me. There's nothing that accounts for that. There's no reason, there's no earning or deserving of that. My essential being here is an expression of being loved. I am produced through love. When we blow the shofar on the Yom Truah, the day of belovedness, we are actually also, through that sound and act, returning to that most primary point of origin. Because what is a shofar blast? When we just strip it down to its basic components, there is a hollow, hard piece of matter, of organic material, and we breathe the breath of life through it. The sound of the shofar, which is the defining mitzvah of the day of Rosh Hashanah, it's the defining ritual. It's hearing the sound of life being blown and breathed into matter, into being. It's the echo of that call, that loving force, that breath that not only has brought me here, but brings me here and sustains me here and supports me here and breathes me here all the time, moment to moment. That which loves me into being, that's what I'm listening to through the shofar. That's what I'm listening to on the day of Rosh Hashanah. So my invitation for today, and maybe even for tomorrow and the day after that, is to carry, open, touch some of that awareness of being loved, or really of our basic belovedness, of our fundamental belovedness. To perhaps take moments to just bring our awareness into our most fundamental sense of being here, not for any number of reasons, or not for anything we show for ourselves, or what we are worthy of or unworthy of, but beneath and before all of that I am here. My basic sense of being, to experience that basic sense of self as one of belovedness. Mr. Rogers, the Tzaddik of our generation, who spent so much time and energy and devotion to raising children and raising all of us, no matter how old our child is, to have a sense of being loved. He spoke about recalling the people who have loved us into being, the family members, the friends, the teachers, the mentors, those people. I'll add here even people perhaps that we've never even met, but whose words and vision and presence in this world have altogether granted us a sense of, yes, I am loved. Yes, I am loved. Yes, I am loved enough to be here. Yes, I am loved enough for today. We can take time to bring to our attention those presences in our lives and let ourselves feel the gifts of those presences. And we can allow ourselves to return again and again to the experience of our most basic belovedness, our most basic goodness that forms really the base of our lives, of our existence, of our breath, of our moments here. So the Chaim be'emet, the Chaim to life in the truest way, and the Chaim to life through the path of love and belovedness.
We will build this world from love.